Hi everyone, welcome to Inside the Design Studio. I'm Beth Bieske, an interior designer, the founder of More Time to Design, which is a cloud-based studio and project management platform for interior designers, and the host of the Design Dialogues podcast. In this episode, we are looking at advice and how it's not all created equal. We live in a time where information and advice for interior designers on how they should run their business, how they should grow their business, how they should set up their business is abundant. And it's a great time. For so long, the industry was a closed book. When I first started in the industry about 13 years ago, no one shared information. You did not talk about anything, and you kind of just had to all work it out as you went along. It is so lovely that our industry is becoming more and more friendly and more open about these crucial business aspects. However, it's really important when you are taking on advice that you don't just take it on blindly, that you take it and put it through the lens of your business and the way that you want to run your business. There's a few crucial things that I think about when I am thinking about advice that I have been given in regards to how to run my business. And I would advise for you to think about it in a similar way. So the first is you kind of need to do this work first before you can kind of process the advice. But the first is working out, what does success mean for you? Now, success for one person is going to be different for another person. And you might ask, how does success impact taking on advice? So say for example, you're in a period of your life where you might be busy with caring duties, or you might have a lot of travel on, or for multiple different reasons, you have a limited capacity for the number of hours you can work. So success for you might be simply just the status quo. You might not be looking to grow your studio at this period of time. You might not be looking to take on staff or anything like that. It's just kind of like, right now, for the next little while, I want to make sure that the studio just keeps going along, but I'm not looking to grow. If you're in that phase and that's what success looks like for you, then taking on advice about adding in lots of social media posts and doing lots of things to promote growth, then that's not going to be the right thing for you at that time. Similarly, if you are in a phase where success for you is pushing out lots of beautiful work and being published and making sure that you are going to awards ceremony and doing all of that kind of thing, then you are going to be wanting to taking on advice that really helps you raise your public standing and your awareness of your studio. So that's what I mean when I say making sure that you understand what success looks like for you at that point in time is really important when you are looking at advice. So that's the first lens that I look through. What is my definition of success at the moment, and is that advice helping me get to that success? The second lens that I put my advice through is, does that suit my ideal client? Interior design is an industry, we deal with lots and lots of different clients. There will be some of you who work on maybe 3 or 4 large projects a year, and you only need 5 or 6 clients a year. And there will be others of you who work on much smaller projects, and you are constantly having to bring on new clients, and you deal with them for a short period of time. The onboarding process, or that pre-client stage, is going to look very different for those 2 groups of clients and for those 2 styles of businesses. And there'll be some of you that are doing both, big projects and really small projects, all in the one studio. So knowing what kind of client you have and what kind of client you're working towards and how the size and scope of your projects, that is the next lens that I would put advice through. So for example, we quite often hear about questionnaires where you ask your prospective clients lots of things about their project. And this is all really crucial information that we need to know. However, if you are working with a client that is a quick turnaround and it's a small project, have a think about, do I need that much information from them? Can I be as succinct as possible? Do I need a long-winded questionnaire? If you're working on with a client on a big project, similarly, you might go, well, am I going to need a questionnaire of all of this information that they might not even know the answers for yet? Is there another way that I can get that information out of them? So just thinking about who your clients are, the style of projects you are, and filtering the advice through that lens. The third lens that I always put things through is, does it actually work for me? Does it line up with the way that I want to work? I currently have small children who are time consuming, and I have a limited number of hours in the week that I can work. So I very much choose to work at different hours of the day, sometimes on the weekend. It's definitely not a Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 kind of week for me at the moment. And so some kinds of advice around working and how you work and work styles just do not work for me at this stage. They've worked for me previously and they might work for me again, but right now they're not right. And so being clear on actually how you want your week to feel, how you want to run your week, how you want to work is really important. And so that's the third lens that I always put advice through. The fourth lens that I put advice through is, who is giving me the advice? Now this one I think is really, really important. If the person who is giving you advice doesn't really have experience in the kind of studios that you have or that you're building, then really think about, is that advice going to be relevant, and is it going to be coming from the place that is going to be very helpful for me? So I have very limited experience when it comes to large-scale commercial interior design. And so I would never offer advice to that sector because I just don't know enough about it. Yes, there could be some things from my experience as a general manager of a studio and a team of 15 and running my own studio that could be relevant. But I just don't know enough about large-scale commercial interior design to offer that advice. So really think about who is giving that advice. Do they have the experience? Do they have relevant experience? Is it up to date? Because we are quite a fast-moving industry, there is lots of things that are constantly changing. So just have a think about where that advice is coming from. So they're my 4 lenses that I put advice through. The lens of what is my success, the lens of who is my client, the lens of does it work for me, and the lens of who is the person giving the advice. I find this is really important to kind of look at this all in a very holistic way, and I then kind of assess it and go, okay, actually some of it works. I'm going to kind of take it, adapt it, change it, and make sure that it is working for me properly. I really hope that you found this helpful and has made you think about how you take on advice. If you are interested in talking to me further about how I can help you run your interior design studio, I have 2 ways that you can work with me. The first is through, of course, signing up to More Time to Design, the cloud-based studio and project management platform for interior designers. You can start your free 30-day trial today. The second is through the Systems and Processes Health Check. This is where we work together for 8 weeks looking at a key strategic area in your business that you know is not working quite right, and we work together on that to get it all working better. I look forward to seeing you for our next episode of Inside the Design Studio.